Ji San smiled and shook his head violently. The little evil threw 3 wooden heads into the fire and said, "Old ghost, you have to be patient, if you can't help it, shout, shouting can reduce the pain." As soon as Xiaoxie finished speaking, Li Sangziao immediately roared. The little evil sneered and said, "The louder the scream, the better, or you won't have time to scream later." From time to time, the little evil struck him on the head, like a ball. "Wow, it's so hot! I can't stand it, little brother, let me out, wow! Oh! If the Wuxian ape cries, the sorrow is extreme." Xiaoxie smiled, "I can't stand it, I can't stand it, I have to bear it. Do you think this kung fu is so easy to learn?" Li Sangziao was so hot that he couldn't stand it anymore and shouted, "Quick! Little brother, let me out, I won't practice." "If you don't practice, you can stop practicing. Give me a good practice, or who will I use to practice? If you say you don't practice, I'll give you a snap." He broke the wood and shouted, "Kill you!" Li Sangziao still thought that Xiaoxie was forcing him to be patient, and he cried bitterly, "Hurry! Wow, young brother, play open cover, ah! I can't stand it anymore, let me go." He was now trying to heat the ant, the living snake on the water. The little evil shouted, "Dead old ghost! Who do you think I am? Xiansuan Baolu, I go to the pit every day to practice this kung fu. You have eaten my ecstasy medicine, lost your heart and lost your soul. You want to learn from me to swim in the open water? Hee hee! I'm leaving." He slapped Li Sangziao 7 or 8 more times, went to all the wood to the fire, and pulled Han Ling to grow and throw it away. Li Sangziao came to him with hot water at this time, and he could listen to Xiaoxie's words, but he just screamed bitterly, "Little brother! Let me out! Wow! I can't take it anymore!" He screamed like a madman. Xiaoxie and Han Ling rushed out of the valley and immediately set fire kerosene. A tongue of fire has swept the entire Snake Valley. The fire is from the outside in, so the snakes are fundamentally forced to escape the hissing and screaming. Xiaoxie and Han Ling had already laughed and swept down the mountain and disappeared into the jungle. Ji Sangziao also fainted due to the boiling water being too hot. At this time, a black shadow shot into the cave as fast as lightning, and I saw that he had shattered the medicine barrel with a raised palm, and carried Li Sangziao out of the cave and disappeared into a flame. The speed of his movements is rare, and he must be the top master of martial arts. Soon the Snake Valley was turned into a sea of fire, and the name Snake Valley was no longer there. Scenery, laugh. XXX. The little evil has found a mountain, and the two of them have a big meal. Xiaoxie smiled proudly, "This old man will take off his skin if he doesn't die." Han Ling sneered, "You still want to figure out this trick, but if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have escaped from his palm." There was gratitude in his tone. Xiaoxie smiled, "Now you should believe in my harm." Han Ling Jiao smiled, she really had never seen such a strange person. Soon she said, "By the way, do you remember those black turban killers?" And she thought a little strange about the last time she was hunted down. "Little evil Dao, why don't you remember? I also provoked them inexplicably. There is no way to talk about peace, and I can't kill them all, but I will tell you a secret. They are all poor people, maybe death is their best relief." Han Ling didn't understand, Why is this? Not only do they not have noses and ears, but their whole faces are rotten, so they cover their faces. Han Ling was taken aback and said, "Really? Who would be so ruthless as to do this?" The little evil said, "He is the most conscienceless and despicable person in the world, I want to cook him." Han Ling said, "The beggars are all over the world, I will go back and ask my brother to check, and I may be able to find out who that person is." Xiaoxie sighed, "It's useless to find out, who can kill him? Do you know who a black-clothed killer was last time?" Han Ling shook her head and said, "At that time, I was unconscious, and I didn't know who he was." Little Evil Dao, "First of all, I don't know, but after chatting with Lao Er in Snake Valley, I learned that his name is Tong Blood Bear, and he is one of the 9 demons of the Demon King of Ghost Valley. You think that people with such strong martial arts are bought as killers? What are we? I think it is the best policy to escape with his tail." Han Ling Huan smiled and said, "You didn't kill him just like that." Xiaoxie shouted, "Damn, you didn't see that I almost lost my breath, it was because he was too careless to be in my hands. Opportunities don't come every day, the moon is not round every day, I still have to run away to get it." Han Ling said, "What about me, running away with you?" She found herself saying this, a little too much, that had lowered her head, and her face was flushed. The little evil laughed and said, "Run with me, can you catch up with me? I think it's safer for you to go back to the beggar gang, and then you want to find me again. Anyway, you said that you beggar gang disciples are all over the world, and you can find me at any time, right?" Han Ling said quietly, "But I still like to go through the rivers and lakes with you." Xiaoxie glanced at her, saw that she was moving, and said helplessly, "Okay. You can't get rid of it if you are entangled, so you will run away when you see danger in the future, like. Anyway, it's right for you to run, it's better to run until you beggars split the rudder and hide." He wanted to say that he was running like a mad dog, but after thinking about it, he couldn't. Han Ling nodded and said, "Okay, as long as there is danger, I will run, and the faster I run, the better." The little evil smiled and said, "Run. Find a big guest to sleep for 3 days and 3 nights, ha." The two walked towards the big town in laughter. Han Ling didn't know when a little bell had been hung on her body, and it was very pleasant to walk with a tinkling sound. Xiaoxie said, "Han Ling, why do you want to hang the bell? Don't you want to pull the wind?" Han Ling smiled, "My name has a Ling character, so I like to hang the ring, and I also like its crisp sound. For example, a few days ago, when you were hunted down and the bell was gone, would you be a little unrequited?" Han Ling nodded and said, "It's a little weird, so I just bought a bell and hung it on my waist. How about it?" She shook her soft waist, and immediately a pleasant ringtone came out. "I don't think I need to call you Hanliang. What will I do to you, Xiaoding, like the emperor's concubine? Xiaoding, Xiaoding, ding ding, ding, haha." Barbarians are interesting. The more he thought about it, the more he became, and the more amused he became. Han Ling shouted, "I don't want it, it's so ugly, is it okay to change it?" Xiaoxie said, "What do you change, Xiaoding? The mouth grows on me, I can call it whatever I like. Xiaoding, Xiaoding, Xiaoding." Han Ling thought, "Xiaoding is Xiaoding, I will fight with him, I will see that the more ugly names will be called out later." She said, okay. Xiao Ding, don't keep talking, let's go quickly so that the sun won't go down and we won't be able to catch up with the big city. Xiao Evil said, Xiao Ding, how are we running? Han Ling Jiao smiled, I won't be fooled by you, it's like last time, you ran and brought back more than a dozen deadly people, almost all of them, do you want to bring a few more people back? The little evil smiled awkwardly, accident, it was a pure accident last time, he. Han Ling said, what about this time, what if you have another accident this time? Xiaoxie thought about it and said secretly, Grandma's, I'm really suffocating, I brought it back last time, maybe I brought a coffin back this time, and gambling also has to talk about some luck, the disease is 10, and it can't be messed around at all. He said, okay. Let's go faster, when there is a big city, I have your little ding yet to protect, I think there will be 11 sacks. When he thought that there must be beggars and disciples in the big towns, he was not afraid of being chased and killed. Han Ling Jiao smiled, let's go.